It's page 393. Lesson 7.2 is on solving triangle area problems. We're finding the area of triangles. So the question is, how can you find the area of a triangle? So what they're wanting us to do on the first part here on 393 is to connect these points, first of all. And then they're also wanting us to draw a diagonal line that connects the opposite vertices and then find the area of each triangle formed. So that one I'm going to hold off for the moment. So they're wanting us to find areas of triangles that are formed inside of this parallelogram. We know from the previous section, area of a parallelogram is equal to base times height. So first, let's figure out what the base and the height are of this parallelogram. So on this one, the base of this parallelogram is 18. What you're wanting to do to figure that out, people get confused with the angles of these sometimes, but basically if you just look underneath the base and just count how many squares there are in between the two endpoints, in between A and D, there should be 18 squares in between there. So the height tells us how tall the parallelogram is. So a lot of times was maybe shown over to the side here as our height. Whoops. So if we look at this, the height, we're just looking straight up and down how far that is. So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the height is 12. And so what that means, if we were trying to find the area of this, we would be taking 18 times 12, which is 216. So 216 square units would be the area of this whole thing. Now what they wanted us to do, I didn't do it yet, they wanted us to draw a diagonal line that connects opposite vertices. So drawing a diagonal, we could draw maybe going this way. If you wanted to go from A to C, that would work also. And then the question is, what's the area of this triangle? Well, if you'll notice, when we draw a diagonal, we're basically splitting it up into two identical triangles. So if the area of the whole thing was 216, then to find the area of one of those triangles, one of those is half of the whole area, so we could just take that and divide it by 2, which would be 108. So 108 square units would be the area of one of those triangles. What we did there basically is going to be kind of related to how we can get our formula for the area of a triangle. So on the next page, example 1, the book just talks about how we can decompose this parallelogram into two identical triangles. We could actually do the same with a rectangle if you wanted. You could take a rectangle, draw a diagonal, and make two identical triangles out of it. Anyway, either one of those, the triangle, if you make a diagonal, the triangle is going to be half of the area of the whole thing. So if the area of the whole thing was base times height, the area of the triangle is 1/2 times base times height. Or you could say, like we did on the last one, base times height divided by 2. When you do these problems, it might be easier for you. We'll talk about it as we go through. It might be easier for you to take this first formula, because what that allows you to do, that allows you, if one of your numbers are even, you can go ahead and take half of it first and then multiply it by the other number. If you do base times height and then divide by 2, base times height is going to be a bigger number, and then you're going to have to divide that by 2. So especially considering whether you're allowed to use a calculator or not, that's going to make a difference on, if you can't use a calculator, then I'm probably for sure going to lean towards doing that first way for finding the area of a triangle. So I mentioned here at the bottom, we already kind of talked about it. Multiplying by 1/2 is the same as dividing by 2. So again, you can either do 1/2 times base times height, or you can do base times height divided by 2, whichever way you want to do that. On the try it, they're asking us to use this formula to find the area of the triangle. The triangle they're talking about is this blue triangle. We don't really need this part up here. They're trying to still relate it to the parallelogram, so you guys can see that that triangle makes up half of a parallelogram, but we don't really need that anymore. One thing about it, just like we did before, the base and the height are going to meet at a right angle. They're going to meet at a 90-degree angle. So think about that when you're substituting things into the formula. So for this problem, the base of the triangle would be 12 and the height would be 5. Those meet at a right angle. 12 is the base, 5 is the height. 5 is like how tall this triangle is. What the book's doing then is they are going ahead and multiplying these numbers together. And this is one way of doing the problem, and it's fine. So they went ahead and multiplied those. Remember, if we're multiplying, we can multiply in whatever order we want to, commutative property. So they went ahead and did 12 times 5, which would be 60. And then if we take half of 60, would be 30. So the area of the triangle is 30 square centimeters. A different option you have is that we can set it up the same. Order of operations normally would say we multiply from left to right. So normally, without worrying about the commutative property, we could have said, let's go ahead and do this. Let's take half of 12 first. So half of 12 is 6, and then if we take 6 times 5, we'll get 30. Notice we get the same answer either way we did that problem. It's just that 6 times 5 was a multiplication fact that we for sure knew versus taking half of 60, a little bit bigger number that we have to work with there. So it's your choice on how to do these, but when I'm doing these, that's what I'm going to look for. In fact, we'll talk about later, if either the base or the height is an even number, I'm going to take half of that first and then multiply it by the other number. So example 2, the side of a birdhouse is in the shape of a right triangle. What is the area of the side of the birdhouse? Again, they're trying to relate this to this whole square, but we don't really even need to do that. We can just say it's a triangle. I'm taking half times base times height. In this case, the base and the height are both 8. The book didn't really show how they did this. They just said the answer is going to be 32. I would suggest if you wanted to, you could go ahead and take half of 8 first, which is 4, and then 4 times 8, which is 32. Okay, again, you could do 8 times 8 is 64, and then 64 divided by 2, or 1/2 times 64. When you do these problems, we'll talk about it later on, but if you ever get numbers that aren't quite as nice, instead of a half, you can put 5/10 or 0.5. And technically, on your calculator, it will let you type all that in and then hit equals, and then you'll just get your answer to the problem. But again, make sure you know how to do it without a calculator as well, because we can't always use calculators. So if you look at example 3, we have an obtuse triangle here, and they're asking what's the area of the triangle. This one, there's actually 2 different options. We don't see this very often, but with how they drew this, with all the measurements they gave us, there's 2 different ways we could find this area. So the first way is they're looking at the red numbers here. So they said the base is 10, and the height, how tall is it, based off of that being the base. The height that direction would be 8. And then if you wanted to, I would suggest if you want to just do half of 10 first, which is 5. And then 5 times 8 is 40. The other option we could look at it is based off of these green numbers. So with the green numbers, it's kind of like if you want to think about the triangle being turned this way. If you turn it this way, we can think of our base as being 16 feet and our height as being 5 feet, if we can read upside down. And then if we substitute those in, again, if you want to just take half of 16 first, would be 8, and then 8 times 5 is 40. So we get the same answer either way. There's actually two different ways, two different perspectives you might take on that problem. So if we look at the triad at the bottom of the page, they're wanting us to find the areas of these triangles. So I'm going to start by writing my formula. If I write that down every time I do these problems, it'll make it easier for me to memorize that. And then we're just going to be substituting in. So for this triangle, our base is 9 and our height 6. This is the first time that our base has been an odd number. So I could take half of 9. It's not going to come out evenly, and then it's just going to make my problem more difficult probably. What we could do though with commutative property, remember commutative changed the order, we could rearrange these. And then if we rearrange them, we could do this first. It'd be taking half of 6. So half of 6 is 3. And then we've got 3 times 9, which would be 27 square centimeters. Okay. Again, another option going back to what the book was doing earlier, if you want to go ahead and take 9 times 6 and get 54, and then take half of that. And you can either take that by multiplying it by half or by dividing it by 2. Both of those will give you the same answer. Again, technically, if you had a calculator you were allowed to use, you could put 5/10 times 9 times 6, and then that will get you that answer. But I'd like you guys, when you're doing these problems, to try to think about, how can I do this? Is there an even number I can take half of first that's going to make it an easier problem? And then if you're allowed to use a calculator, you could just do that as a double check. Type it in, see if you get the same answer as you got working it out your way. So if we look at part B next, part B is pretty similar to that last example in the book. So there's kind of a couple different perspectives you might take on this one. So with how this triangle is oriented, we might see it as the base being 12. The height meets it at a right angle would be 3. This time, if we do it this way, the base would be an even number. So then that would be 6, and then 6 times 3, which is 18. So 18 square meters. The other option, if you think of turning this differently, if you turn the triangle differently, the base would be 9 and the height would be 4. And then that one, if you want to rearrange those, you can. Half of 4 would be 2, and then 2 times 9 is 18. Notice we still get the same answer that we got the other way. Look at the do you know how number 5. Trying to find the area of this triangle. So this one, the base is 4 and 2/10, height is 3 and 5/10. These numbers aren't as nice, and so just for time's sake, if you want to, you could just type that in your calculator and work that out. And that should come out as 7.35 square inches. A couple things different on that problem. One is that we had decimals, and the other is that we were given a piece of extra information. The 7 inches we didn't use. We did not need that number for finding the area of the triangle. So always make sure you're looking at all the information and just using the information that you need. And then number 6, same idea, finding the area. So this one, the base is 5, the height is 6 and 5/10. 5's an odd number, but if you wanted to, you could still take half of that. Half of 5 is 2.5 or 2.5. And then if you multiply that by 6 5/10, comes out as 16.25 square centimeters.